Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me across all socials. If you are following me on social media, you know that I am currently, I was in Connecticut, then New York, now back in Connecticut, taping this here before the games are over. So I do not know what the record was for last night. That's kind of how the nature of this thing is going for this vacation time. But man, I don't know. I cannot shake this cold streak that I've been on, and it's been a frustration. Hopefully you guys are fading it. I don't know what happened. I know Radford's down here to start about halfway through the first half rather, on the road at Clemson. So I don't know if they're going to turn it around or not, but I think the live line's like 20 at the moment. I laid plus 15.5. So I don't know how that's going to go. And then hockey, I have no clue because that gift parlay we played last night has not even started yet. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But normally Saturday's card is kind of big. I'm going to give you 3 plays here, 2 in college basketball and 1 in the NFL, and that's kind of it. I'm not watching games at the moment. I'm traveling. I'm driving all the way from Connecticut to Massachusetts, and then we're stopping in my hometown, my home for like 2 hours, and then driving to New Hampshire for a party. We'll be back till really late at night for that. So then I'll be taping this tomorrow night, pretty late. So the Sunday episode will be kind of crazy. I will be doing the live stream on Sunday, though. Okay, that will happen. It'll be noon Eastern time on Sunday for us to do that. So looking forward to being on the live stream, but it's going to be kind of one of those crazy, crazy times. So I'm not even watching these games I'm betting, so I'm just kind of following them along, but that's the nature of this gig here. Obviously doing a podcast every single day, sometimes vacation and life gets in the way. So do what you want with these picks. Fade, follow, do what you want. If you're fading it, you're making money. So I'm not mad at you at all if you're fading my picks. If you're coming on here saying Matt's so cold, I'm going to keep on fading his bets and keep on cashing because he's so off. And yes, okay, that's where I am at the moment. I won't get angry at all. Like, this is my job. I'm coming here. I'm telling you what I'm betting. You guys can go opposite, and it's not going to make me angry at all. Last night was a little bit difficult to go opposite, except for the Clemson and Radford game. You bet Clemson. You may have won, but the gift parlay may come in. You'd be laying some pretty good juice on the no if you did that. So I don't know. We'll see how that all kind of plays out. But hopefully we get that. And if we miss the Radford bet, then it's a winning night because it'll be 1-1, but it'll be a plus 156 hit. So we'll be up a half a unit for the day. So nothing crazy. But this podcast is being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. The promo code is JUICE at checkout. Minimum purchase may be required, but when you do that, you're going to save $30 off the already big savings you're seeing across the entire site at the end of the year sale at OmahaSteaks.com. $30 off at checkout, 50% off across the site right now at omahasteaks.com. Okay, let's start with the NFL game. Dallas taking on Detroit. So the total is 52, and it's Dallas minus 5.5. Look, the number is right in the middle. It gives you pause. You're like, Detroit needs this. Dallas needs this. Dallas is really good at home, as we know. Detroit is really good just in general, but on the road, they're 5-3 ATS. Detroit is indoors here in Dallas. Detroit's got this game on a fast track, which is huge for them. Look, 51.5, when the total goes over 51.5, it starts to feel like an underplay. Historically speaking, when you're looking at the number of 52 in the NFL, it gets to be difficult to go over that. That is so many points, but there's no way I could bet under in this game. I cannot justify it by any means. However, I do think there is a way you can bet this. Dallas is 5-2 to the over at home, but their last 3 games have gone under. Now, you could say, well, Matt, that's because, Philadelphia, they won 33-13 at home against the Eagles. Then they went to Buffalo, lost 31-10, lost to Miami 22-20. 2 of those 3 games weren't at home. What happens if they beat Detroit the way they beat Philadelphia? Now, I'm not saying Detroit and Philly are equal. I'm just saying what if, okay? Take the 52 and you're like, they scored 33 points, only gave up 10. Defense played really well at home. What happens if the defense plays really well at home, given what has happened over the last couple of weeks, or road trips, I guess you could say, for Detroit. Last road game against Chicago, outdoors, lost the game 28-13. Against New Orleans, they gave up 28 points to New Orleans' offense, but they won the game 33-28. They went to the Chargers. They scored 41 points, but they gave up 38 points on the road. They gave up 38 points on the road to the Baltimore Ravens. Why are those things important? Well, let's look at team total. If you could find a team total for Dallas of 28, I bet over 28.5, but I still think it's okay. Minus 110, 1.1 units down on Dallas team total over 28.5. Here's the thought. Okay, I just gave you what Detroit has given up on the road. Okay, on the road, 28 to Chicago, 28 to New Orleans. They gave up 38 to the Chargers and 38 to the Ravens in their last 4 road games. Dallas at home, it's well documented, okay? Dallas at home this year scored 30 against the Jets, 38 against the Patriots, 43 against the Rams, 49 against the Giants, 45 against Washington, 41 against Seattle, and 33 against the Eagles, okay? 28.5. Is Detroit's defense that great? I just gave you the evidence that on the road, they're giving up points. I just gave you Dallas's record at home for what they have scored. Let's just not worry about 5.5. Let's not worry about 52. And let's just worry about what we know, or take it down to what we know, and that's Dallas's offense and their ability to score at will. Dallas team total over 28.5. I hope we don't get hooked there, but 2 touchdowns in either half and a field goal gets us over. That gets us to 31, which I think that's what Dallas is going to score here. So first bet is Dallas Cowboys team total over 28.5 for 1.1 units. Next 2 games are in college basketball, and one is the game of the day. The Creighton Blue Jays taking on the Marquette Golden Eagles. Last time we saw the Creighton Blue Jays, they were losing at home to Villanova in overtime. Now, the Jays have lost 2 of the last 3 in kind of embarrassing fashion, to be quite honest, okay? They've just been dominated. Teams that know how to play tempo are dominating the Jays. Now, Marquette is not one of them. Marquette is a team that they're ranked 101st in adjusted tempo, according to KenPom. The Jays, well, they've played pretty slowly because you can dictate tempo for them. Point guard play has been great for Marquette. It has not been great for the Creighton Blue Jays, but they haven't played for a really long time. So there has to be this thought that the Jays are going to be able to get better point guard play, that they're going to get more shots for Trey Alexander, that they're going to shoot the ball from behind the arc better, and Baylor Shireman's not going to play the way he's been playing, okay? Nice break for the holidays. Finals are over. The Jays can just focus on basketball for a while here before they get back into the semester. And this is a road game that's going to be an absolute war. Now, the line's 3.5. KenPom has this as a 3-point win for Marquette. I don't hate that, okay? I do think Marquette wins this game. Do they cover? I don't know. This is going to be an absolute war. Marquette has the 27th efficient offense in the country. The Creighton Blue Jays have the 21st efficiency for adjusted efficiency for defense. 44th in effective field goal percentage versus 38 in effective field goal defense. Now, 3-point shooting, Marquette's not been great. The Jays have been pretty good defensively on this. Marquette, though, 14th in 2-point percentage. The Jays are 66th defensively. On the other side, it's the 17th most efficient offense in college basketball for the Jays, up against the 13th most efficient defense for Marquette. 4th in effective field goal percentage against 111th for Marquette. 40th in 3-point percentage to 95th for defense for Marquette. In 2-point percentage, Jays are 2nd, up against 137th. Okay, look, this is going to be a matchup problem. Tyler Kolek is an amazing player. Okay, one of the best guards in the league. I think he's going to kill the Jays and make it really hard on Stephen Ashworth here for Creighton. I don't think he's athletic enough to handle Kolek, and I think Cam Jones could be a huge difference maker in this game. I 100% lean towards Marquette laying the 3.5 points here, but I think there's some value on the total because I don't believe the Creighton Blue Jays are going to shoot the way that they shot the last 3 games. And I think you're going to see the layoff really helped the Jays offense, and I think you're going to see a way because Marquette wants to play fast. And when Marquette wants to push, the Jays can then get out and run. And when they can get out and run, they then can shoot. They can't dictate tempo. Their opponent is going to dictate tempo. Marquette wants to play fast. That's great for the Jays. It's great for their offense. And I think it plays right into the total to have this game go over. Now, you might go, Matt, the Jays are 2-3 or 3-2 to the under this year on the road. Marquette's 4-3 to the under at home this year. I get it. Georgetown, though, 81 points scored for Marquette. Against St. Thomas, 84 points scored for Marquette. Against Notre Dame, 78 points scored for Marquette. Against Texas, 86 points on the road for Marquette. Now, on the flip side, the total here of 153, like the Texas game, under by 2.5, because Texas didn't score. They only scored 65 points. You might go, Marquette's going to clamp down on the Jays. This is where I think the Jays in their time off, I think this is where they get those open looks, those open threes, those rim runs here, those easy transition baskets that the Jays have been lacking so much because of the way they're playing, who they're playing. I think Marquette will give those up with the tempo being more up tempo, faster, which really helps the Creighton Blue Jays, helps them score, helps them get to the basket. Look, I think you can shop around here. There's some different numbers that have been thrown around and where you want to look at. DraftKings and FanDuel have a little bit of a discrepancy here on the total for this game. 148.5 is what you're seeing at FanDuel. DraftKings comes in a little bit lower than that, and I think you can kind of go, all right, let's jump on the Creighton Blue Jays. Actually it just moved. Now it's 148.5. Okay, so it's the same. We're going to take the 148.5. Open at 147, 148.5. Both DraftKings and FanDuel both have this. Creighton and Marquette over 148.5 for 1.1 units. And then the other game, Indiana State up against Michigan State. Michigan State is laying 8.5. I think Indiana State is catching 8.5 to Michigan State. Michigan State's laying 8.5. Total is 150.5. Look, I think Indiana State's live here. I really do. I think they can cover. I'm a big fan of what the Sycamores have looked like, but Michigan State has come to life. They ripped apart Stony Brook. They scored 99 points. They ripped apart Oakland. They scored 79 points. They ripped apart Baylor, scoring 88 points. They lost to Nebraska, amazingly enough, by scoring 77 points. That game went over. Last 4 games for Michigan State have gone over. 3 of the last 4 games have gone over for Indiana State. You have a Tennessee State game where they scored 90. Against Ball State, they scored 83. Southern Indiana, they scored 98. Against Northern Illinois, they scored 90. None of those teams are even comparable or even close to the talent level of Michigan State. But Indiana State's Michigan State. But Indiana State's tempo is what I'm looking at here as to how fast Indiana State wants to play. Their adjusted tempo is 30th in the country. Again, when one team really wants to run, the other one may want to slow it down, but that's not how Michigan State has played recently. Michigan State actually has kind of gone a bit more up-tempo, and Michigan State has been able to score. I don't really love the defense for Indiana State either, okay? Now, 150, 149. Shop around and see what number you can find for this game because I think it really does matter. I have 150, okay, at DraftKings, and I think it's good to jump on that. But, I mean, Ken Palm has this at 149, so we're talking about one free throw here. Just, it's right on the number. Indiana State is 5-2 this year on the road to the over. Yes, Michigan State is 5-3 to the under this season, but like I mentioned, last 4 games have gone over. 4 of the last 5 games have gone over for Indiana State. We need the Sycamores to score here. Okay, I think Michigan State's going to score. Going to need the Sycamores to score. 33rd best offense efficiency in the country. The number 1 effective field goal percentage team in the nation, Indiana State. They take phenomenal shots. They hit a ton of shots, and they're going to be tested up against Michigan State, who have the 16th best in effective field goal percentage defensively. 3rd best three-point percentage in the country, Indiana State, up against the 51st defensively in Michigan State. 6th best at 2-point percentage, Indiana State, up against the 18th best for Michigan State. Now, on the other side, efficiency, Michigan State-wise, 38th best in efficiency, up against the 102nd defense efficiency. Effective field goal percentage, 64th to 128. And we've got 2-point percentages and 3-point percentages. Michigan State has not shot the three well this year at all. It's the one kind of caveat about the bet going over 150 is the 3-point shooting, which is a little scary for Michigan State. Need that to go down here with some open looks. 87th and 155th in 2-point defense, 61st for Michigan State. So they get two good 2-point shots. They hit a bunch of 2-point shots. This will come down to Indiana State's ability to score in East Lansing, okay? Again, I think plus 8.5, plus 9 is very, very live, but I am going to go ahead and bet the over on this game instead and just say I think we're going to see offense, and I know it's crazy to go, Matt, offense in a Michigan State game. Yes, I think we're going to see offense between Indiana State and Michigan State, but we're going to need Indiana State to get to the bucket and hit threes and score. That happens, this game's going over. I'm very confident Michigan State's going to score here. They're going to score a bunch of points. So I'm ice cold. I'm firing on overs. At least it'll be more fun to watch than firing on unders, because firing on unders when you're ice cold is no fun. Saturday with 3 bets for you guys. Over 28.5. The Dallas Cowboys up against the Detroit Lions here in the NFL for 1.1 units. The Creighton Blue Jays taking on the Marquette Golden Eagles. We are going over in that game. Over 148.5. In Indiana State at Michigan State, we are going over 150 here in that game. 3 overs, 2 basketball, 1 football, 3.3 units in play for us here. Bet under on all of them because the way I'm running, bet under on all of them, and I may walk you guys right to the window to cash some tickets. Just where I'm going here, just how I'm running. Hopefully, when I'm done, we can go watch some hockey and we get both gifts and we get the gift parlay to come in. Hopefully that hit. We'll see about that. But if not, maybe Radford pulls a miracle here in the second half and comes back up against Clemson, but doesn't look like it. So we'll see what's going to happen. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.